In this theme, it's really important that all families have foundational knowledge about intercountry adoption, and that prospective adoptive parents have appropriate expectations and understanding of the process, a consideration of potential challenges that may arise, and an opportunity to reflect on their specific adoption process. In this hour-long theme, you'll be providing general information to prospective adoptive parents outlining the laws and processes involved with an intercountry adoption, along with highlighting trends and experiences that adopted individuals and families have. You will focus on aspects of the intercountry adoption process, as well as specific issues that are important for all parents to have a general understanding of before they complete an intercountry adoption. Now, let's get down to the nuts and bolts. As with our other themes, this one begins with emphasizing the characteristics of successful adoptive parents. For this theme, we've identified being committed, having an appreciation for the diversity of others' worldviews, and having adaptability and flexibility. After briefly covering the laws that govern international adoption, including state, federal, and foreign countries' laws, the theme jumps right into the steps of the intercountry adoption process, including distinguishing between the Hague and the non-Hague process. As you can see, there are a lot of steps, and we want to remind families that this is the general process, but their specific case may be somewhat different. Because it's complex, there is a handout where families can follow along with you as you're facilitating through these different processes. Following this discussion, we're going to help families set expectations about the possible delays to finalization. With so many steps involved, it is expected that almost all families will have some setback or road bump along their journey. After that, the next section adds consideration of trends about children being placed for intercountry adoption, including older age of children being placed, the increasing rate of children placed with a known medical special need, and more sibling groups being placed for adoption. Developing this further, we want families to start thinking about the conditions children are coming from and exposed to prior to their adoption. This could be an orphanage setting or other environmental factors. We're going to help set expectations about how that kind of institutionalization can affect children both in the short term and the long term. This is a good time to remind families about the things they've already learned through the NTDC theme, such as trauma-informed parenting and trauma-related behaviors. There is also a right time training called Intercountry Adoption Medical Considerations. The theme ends with a discussion of services and supports families may need. We really want to emphasize to families the importance of post-placement and post-adoption reporting. This is an opportunity that we can remind families that along with just writing a report, they can also be working with their agency worker to seek the resources they need to be successful. Finally, to end the theme, we give families an opportunity to reflect on their own adoption journey. Here are some of the key takeaways families need to know. The intercountry adoption process is complex. A family's actual adoption process may not follow the exact steps in the exact order we laid out for them. It's very common that families experience delays in their process. It's important for families to understand that the information they receive on the child will likely be incomplete, inaccurate, or inadequate. It's critical for parents to expect the unexpected. Participants should leave with an understanding of some of the conditions that impact children and understand the importance of post-adoption reporting. Here are some tips to help the training go smoothly. One of the ways this theme can get off track is if families are interrupting with questions or comments as you walk through the different steps and stages of the adoption process. You're going through a lot of steps and you're following two different processes, the Hague and the non-Hague. So it would be easy to get bogged down with different questions on each step along the way. I encourage you to warn families in advance that you're going to cover a lot of material and assure them that there's going to be plenty of time for questions and discussion afterwards. As another tip, when compared to other NTDC themes, this one may come across as a little dry and boring. In part, that's because this theme serves to address multiple elements required in the federal regulations for intercountry adoption. I encourage you to warn participants in advance that even though some of the material may be dry, it's critically important for them to learn, discuss, and participate throughout. I want to encourage you that even if you don't have extensive experience with intercountry adoption, you can still successfully facilitate this 1-hour theme. It's been designed to cover a general process, and you can point families back to their primary provider placement agency for the specific questions they have. Our goal is to help them have the foundational knowledge they need of an intercountry adoption, and we've given you the resources here to provide that.